This used to be nothing but trees and empty country roads, but we transformed it into a world-class, interconnected transit capital. Air, rail, subway, and sea all collide right here, powered by a seamless shuttle loop that takes you from the ferry up to the airport. Take a look at the bigger picture. Our masterpiece is ready. Welcome to St. Lawrence Island. Hey there guys, welcome back to another edition of St. Lawrence Island. Today we are really heavily focusing on the infrastructure to bring people to this island. As you can see right there in front of us, we have a backup, a huge backup in fact, and this one is going right there where we had, where I kind of made a left-hand turn lane last episode. The problem here is that a lot of these cars are going to the vineyard via the back way and not going through the towns, which honestly, I would prefer that. I would prefer them to use this as a major thoroughfare to get around the island rather than going through some of these towns. But this is backed up quite a bit. In fact, it actually backs up all the way back to here. And there have been times where this actually backs up into this tunnel and off the map. So what we're going to do is really try to fix that. On top of fixing this backup, we're also going to update some infrastructure and turn this subway line into one cohesive thing and get a subway starting point out here so that we can maybe take care of some of this backup with more public transit. On top of that, we also are going to use this train line coming in and have a terminus station for the train line so that people we can use the outside connection for trains right here as well. And of course, it wouldn't be an island if we didn't have ferries all along the coastline. So I'm going to also put a ferry terminal down here so that we can send ferries to each of the different areas, including Via Lawrence, what I'm now calling New Lawrence, and into Meridian Isle, so we can push them into this way. I might even get a ferry in down through this inlet canal area as well. So we'll see what that ends up turning into later when we actually build this area out. But this is going to be a new transportation hub for the island. Of course, we have to add one more transit option, and we are going to put down an airport. Yes, we're actually going to put down an airport in this episode because honestly, I haven't built an airport yet in any city. So of course, I'm going to go ahead and add it to this one right now and get that set in place early so we can really bring everybody. We have every mode of transportation to come into the island. Then we can go ahead and fill the rest of the island and really nail this down. So before we start building, be sure to subscribe to this channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment if you want a house in St. Lawrence. We still are filling in subscriber row down here on the bottom, and if you want one of these homes, let me know. Also, if you want a home anywhere else in St. Lawrence, let me know the location you want, and I'll drop it down. Of course, we have New Lawrence, we have Via Lawrence, we have subscriber row there in the back. I even have Emerson Point out here that could really use some more people living there. So let's go ahead and get that island built out and get this moving. So to start this off, we are going to go ahead and clear this area, this island off, remove all the trees. We'll place trees down later, but we just want to get this cleared out so we have a good idea of what exactly we're working with the terrain and the area all throughout here. So let's get this cleared so we can get moved to the next step. With that cleared, we're going to go ahead and remove this little road here. And that's good. Now, I need to think about a little bit where things are going to go. And first, let's start with the largest asset that we are going to lay down, and that is going to be the airport here. I'm going to use the base game airport because I haven't built one with the airport transport block or the air transport block yet. I still haven't gotten that quite figured out. I've really want to focus on setting that right. So I'm going to use the airport one. I have this rural airport, but it's just a building, as you can see there, and it's not that great. So I'm going to use the airport asset. We're going to use up most of this island because of this. And I really want to get this placed in the right spot to also bring in the appropriate connections as well. And I kind of want to put it at an angle, but obviously we're going to be using up some of that space out there into the water. Of course, it'll get terraformed, so I'm not concerned about that aspect of it. But I also want to remember any ground that I have to add into the water, I want to take it from somewhere else, which there will be plenty of to do so. So let's go ahead and get this. I kind of want to go at an angle like this right over the highway. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this right about here. And now we have the base of what this island is going to look like. I'll probably end up carving into this just to get some of our ferry area ready to go. But now with that being done, I want to go ahead and get the train station placed. And I'm going to go with this train station from PDX Mods here, which just looks absolutely incredible. I think this would be a great look to the airport, especially if like we put this right here across from the airport, to be like you come out of the airport and you're like, oh wow, look at this train station. This will be, I think, the best location for it. So let's get some roads laid out just to kind of get a little bit of a grid here set up. And this will just be temporary roads just so that we can get this nice and lined up. So that should be just about front facing here. So if I look at this, it's this line right here that is to the center. So I just need to move that over just a little bit. And now we should be centered up between the two, between the entrance of the airport and the entrance of the train station. Now this would have been really cool if I could have like just terraformed this to put this into the airport, or not terraform, but customize it to do that. But yeah, we don't need that. It looks like this is up on a hill, and I do want to get that taken care of because that is quite the distance there. I mean, this train station would literally be looking over, and I've got to somehow get this down all the way down to there. So we are going to go ahead and modify this and just push this into the ground like so. So the next thing I want to do here is get the electricity figured out, because this island is going to require a lot of electricity, and I don't really want to use the wind farm that's out here into the island to supply this power as well. I want to supply its own. And there are a lot of airports that I see that include a giant solar power plant. And I think that would be perfect to add here into this space on the airport. And I'm going to use that space because I don't plan on using a cargo terminal that will just take this space up. And it even puts out a train line out here, so I'd have to like turn this around and it'd be a mess. I could use the cargo terminal, but I don't really want to. So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of what I want to do there. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill that space up because it's dead space at the moment. We're going to use Anarchy to get this placed in. And I probably even need to throw in a road down here just to get this connected up. So let's just throw that road down. That way I have an easy snapping here, and I can go ahead and get that placed in. So this is now placed in, and it looks pretty good. It fits right exactly where I need it to. And now I can just go ahead and take that road over there, and we should be good right there. The next thing will be water and sewage. And of course, I'm going to use the same plant that I always do. I always use this water tower, and truly it's because I can upgrade it with additional sewage. So that always works out. So let's go ahead and get this placed up. Let's get another road placed down here just to get more of a center, because I would like to put this down the center. And I need to connect here to here at the 90. And then what I want to do is go ahead and use this kind of as like a park area and place this water tower right there in the middle of it. On second thought, I'm not going to do that. We're going to get this place somewhere else, probably back towards here. Maybe even like, I don't necessarily think the water tower by the airplanes should be a good spot, but maybe right over here. It looks like there's this little spot right here. Electricity, water, that should be fine, right? Everything will be fine there. And of course, we're going to go ahead and upgrade this as well to include that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, actually, before we get too far into here, is go ahead and start working on the infrastructure and getting this replaced with what needs to be done and start getting the subway and train lines connected. So let's start off with the highway system. I'm going to take a brief pause here. I don't want to pause the game for too long, but we are going to go ahead and pause this. What we're going to do is actually take the highway and we're going to take 2 lanes, parallel mode at 0.25. And this is going to come right into this one. Well, close to it, I should say. We are going to come up pretty close, about there. And then we'll get these connected up as well. So now what we will do is go ahead and run this line all the way through and just get this all nice, connected up, and push this all the way out to here. So back here, we are going to use a 4-lane highway connection and just get this connected out a little bit further out so that we can easily just I drop that back to 2 and then push that back up to 4. So it's a little easier. And then we'll drop it back down to 1. Probably, it's probably closer out to here. As we get through there, we'll get that part figured out later, but let's go ahead and get this connection up here. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to get obliterated for our new subway line, so we're going to go ahead and get that removed. And I just realized I had bridge mode on this entire time, so we're going to go ahead and get those bridges removed as well. Okay, now that that is done, we are going to just create a little off exit here to connect over to there. But to do so, I need to just create a little node right here so that we can upgrade this road, delete that, and then we're going to do the flip side. This is going to come over here and probably back that up to about here as well. So this should be a fairly easy connection. And in fact, actually, I want to actually downgrade this road to a country road, which I believe I have country road. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this all the way into town right there. And that's a regular road. It's not a highway road. So yeah. Now from here, we are going to go ahead and connect here. So let's get this road going. And then same thing on the reverse side here. We're going to send this up and over. No, I think we're going to go below here because it will need, we'll need some space for the subway that's going around here. And let's use this network tools just to make sure that the slope is good. And turn this into a bridge segment. Okay, so now we have our two connections up to the highway coming from this road, and that's really all I need. I don't really need a connection going this way because they could just go back this way instead of around. That'd be really weird route. So it's really just to go out this way further. The next thing I want to do here, now that this is done, is go ahead and get the subway system down. And while I'm thinking about this, I actually want to make it more even with this area, more even with the subway. So we're going to just do a little bit of transforming right here, and then we will move on to the next step. So now I want to get the train line into here, and we'll start back here and get this connected. So let's just remove this section of that train line. I want to leave that for the subway because I'll do something fun for that. Let's take a look at this. We are going to just take a double train track and connect it to right there, and we're going to bring this out over here and then connect it up to there. So this should be a pretty easy connection. 4% is a passenger line. I think that should be fine. And what we'll end up doing is just adjusting some of these pillars and also sinking this part of the road down. Okay, so the train line is now in. The thing we will need for here is a train yard, but that is a solution for another time here shortly. We'll get that figured out. The next thing I want to do is the subway line, and I'm actually going to use this exact same train line. Now you might be thinking, what do you mean you're going to use the same train line? I'm actually just going to remove this platform right here, and we're going to take a subway line right through here as well. So I'm going to take a double track right here. We're going to elevate this just up a little bit and send it on out to the other side. Now this is a little too elevated. So what we're going to do here now is just take this and we're going to sink it down just a little bit, just to get enough coverage, and I want everything to line up with that. Boom. Okay, so with that in place, I'm going to add a integrated subway stop, and we're going to toss that in right about here. There. So let's go ahead and get this subway line now connected with the rest of the tracks, and we are going to send it, and it's going to connect up here. So what I want to do here now is get rid of some of these railroad tracks and get these placed into here, but I only want to go up to that far because this is the height I want to use. So I should be able to go ahead and get this into place. And now that that's in, we can go ahead and snake this around where we need it to be. So for this next part, we are really going to work on the infrastructure for this airport, as I'm going to build some roads here, and I want to really get this working out well. And I think just the best thing to do here is to go ahead and remove the subway and train lines that I've already built, and go ahead and get this moved over so that these are closer. That way I can actually build out some better infrastructure here instead of just like a loop through the center. This puts these two a lot closer together. Now with this being a lot closer, I can go ahead and build a pedestrian bridge that will connect the two here. And this will actually snap right into that, to the train right there, as you can kind of see there. So hopefully we can get people using this. And then the next part, I gotta have trains in the city. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this compact train yard from the city stations service pack or expansion pack, and this is going to go right next to our solar power plant here, and we'll get this built up and just kind of off the edge. We'll get this detailed up a little bit later in the episode, but for now this is exactly where we're going to put it, because we can actually just add this right in pretty easily. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to then, after this, I'm going to work on getting the highway ramps and everything into the airport, along with the new train and subway lines coming into the station as well. So sit back, relax, and just enjoy the next couple minutes of building. Okay, so with all of this now connected up, I want to focus on a little bit of the detailing in here and just how we are getting things all connected up. So the airport, I did move back a little bit, and I actually want to remove some of this parking. I don't want all of this up here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this. We are going to actually remove most of this and probably just leave the pathing along here, and we'll do some custom pathing so that, you know, we don't get these road disconnection tiles here. But I also need to add some airport services to here as well as figure out our true sewage and water issues, because I went ahead and destroyed what we had as the water tower out here, mostly because it wasn't producing enough. This is taking up a lot out here, so we're gonna actually build some facilities that will not only take care of this, but we can also take care of some of the main island as well. So I'm gonna go through here, and we're gonna go ahead and just get rid of all of this, and we'll do some custom stuff here. I want to get rid of this pathing here, which I had recently redone. And why can't I get rid of that? Okay, so most of this has been taken care of. I had to upgrade this to just a pedestrian path, and something's going on with here. But I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm planning on doing here is actually to put a bus line through here. So we'll have a single bus coming through here, and the whole purpose of this is gonna be used as a shuttle. So my thought here would be to create a shuttle from here over to our passenger ferry and just see if that does anything, because we'll have our ferry line coming out here to the rest. And why try to walk over through some high complex infrastructure? And at worst, we throw a ferry or a shuttle all the way over. But again, we have the train lines for that, so that's not really needed. So let's go ahead and do this and see how we can get this built out. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're probably gonna do a custom bus station. Well, let's just check out our options here. We don't really have anything small, so yeah, I think I'm gonna just create this little transportation road. We'll do a one-way transportation road. We'll throw some taxi stands out here as well if we really need to. Let's just go ahead and get this built out and see what we can do. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of surface work. Let's get some pedestrian paths going through here, and just get this all nice and detailed up, and then we'll move on to the next part of this. Okay, with some basic detailing up around here, we got the bus line in here. We've got some of our palm trees. We've got some decorative flower bushes as well. We'll probably come through here and just add a little bit more stuff here as we wrap up the episode later on. But the next thing I really want to focus on is getting a bus depot down, some parking down, because that's going to be much needed out here. There's currently this lot here and the lot in front of the train station. So we'll get some parking down here with some parking garages, maybe some just base parking out here. And then we'll work on getting this ferry terminal put into here as well. And then just really start detailing the rest of this up. So we're going to go a little bit into a speed build here. I don't want to make this episode too long, so we'll just get this all knocked out here and really get this moving. Everything seems to be detailed up here. This is looking pretty great. The island ultimately looks fantastic. I am absolutely in love with everything that this ended up turning into. We even did a little bit of detailing of a little platform out here that brings in the highways and the train infrastructure. I could probably add some lights to this here in a little bit, and I probably will end up coming back to add more lights and everything to that, so it's not just this big blob. Add some trees around there as well. But we have the train and subway station. We've got our airport all detailed up and looking nice. We've got our parking facilities out here. And then we also have a ferry terminal built out here on a little island of its own. The parking here, if you take a look, I've tiered this off. So if you park here, it's 25 bucks. If you park here, it's 15. But over here, it's only, we'll say $6. Okay, $6. We'll say $6 over here because you have, this is a little closer. This is nicer under in a garage, and then this is just exposed to the weather. So naturally, you're going to see that often. I tried to get rid of all the crosswalks, all the stoplights, and I missed a couple here right there for that pedestrian access, and that's not going away. Can I just, there we go. And we'll remove those as well because we don't really need them, because I do have these bridges that go across, so people should be using those to get across the street instead. It's a little bit safer and it keeps traffic flowing. The only stoplight I did keep was here because there is a little bit of an intersection here to get out to here, but ultimately I think that's going to be fine. And then one thing I do want to add is a bus lane to the outside line here. And what this is going to do is bring in the bus passengers out to here so that they can get into there for our little shuttle service. So this will be a dedicated bus line specifically for shuttles coming through. Now, the only thing is that I will now have to go all the way around, and I didn't create a little connector here. So I think what I'm going to do here is just build a little connector specifically for buses. And we'll go at the 90 and turn right here. And this will actually need to go all the way across, but we might be able to build it onto that lane. We'll see. This did create some stoplights. I would still prefer not to have those stoplights in the crosswalks there, obviously. So let's see if I can just go ahead and remove those from here. I can. Okay, great. So let's go ahead back into here, continue this bus line, and get this all connected up. Okay, so that seems to be connected. We will go ahead and just take that bus line right over to here, and we will put it into there and over there. And what I think I'm going to do, there's 3 different little stations here. I might, this might be later, but I might come through here and just add more. And we are going to make that a nice bright blue. And we are going to call this the airport to ferry shuttle. And of course we are going to make that free charge as well. So let's go back into there and modify that. I'm fine with 2 vehicles. You don't want to miss. Actually, for now we will start with 1 just to see how much we go. That way we don't spend too much money. You might have noticed I am still paused because we are spending a lot of money. We are adding a bunch of services. I had to come in here and adjust a bunch of services because this costs a lot of money. This costs a lot of money. Everything out here costs a lot of money, and I added a bunch of services out here as well, including more garbage, more my depot. We've got the advanced water pumping station and the Japanese water treatment plant all out here. which is costing a lot of money, but it's also adding a bunch of services, which is making everything more expensive. And I've just been bleeding money. So once we get everything settled, we get all the train lines settled up, I can go in and start adding some more taxation so that we can properly fund this and don't go bankrupt. But so yeah, that is why I am currently still sitting here. The last thing I want to do here is go ahead and just get the ferry lines all connected up to the different parts of the island. We'll get some airlines into here and we will connect this subway and trains up to where they need to be so we can actually get things flowing and moving. And then of course, on the back half, we will try to get this highway system a little bit better so we can get this upgraded and dropped off where we need, like I said at the beginning of the episode. So go ahead and watch that. We'll get this all taken care of and see you on the flip side. Okay, so before we get into the major reconstruction project of that highway along the back half of the island, I just want to kind of go over a little bit of what we did. Look at this train line coming through. This is a custom train asset that I love. This looks great. Got that right off of PDX Mods. That is the Bon Ryan Ruhr from Maestro. I hope I didn't brutally murder that. I probably did though. So, but it looks great. Let's just take a look at it. It also has 1,200 passengers, and this is going to Seabury. I went ahead and named that to Seabury. Although this says it's going to Bridgedale, because I got to name Bridgedale Seabury. So that is now going off to Seabury. We hope to see some passengers coming into the city from there, but we will definitely have to see. Tourism will have to go up a little bit more still. I did go ahead and extend the subway line. So the subway line will now connect all of the subway stations all the way up into here. So we will see that come through. And I went ahead and got some different regional jets for the I almost named that Seabury, St. Lawrence Island Airport. I don't want to call it regional or international. It might be international. I don't know, because I'll name it International Airport. It's the only airport we got out here. So we have 5 different lines, and then of course this one is going to, let's see, we have to see where all of these are actually going to now. Ticket price only $8 to fly here. That's crazy. Okay, so this one is going to Hardesty. So this will be to the don't want the actual bus. I want the route. Let's see. How can I determine that? If I come up here, this is what I need. Let's go to airport. No? Yeah, air. There we go. And let's just toggle off all the tabs for just a moment. And let's do this first one here. So this first one, I'm actually going to come through here and delete all of these so we can do this one by one instead of trying to figure out each and every one of these individually. We're not really seeing a ton of passengers on these yet, and by a ton I mean like 1 passenger total, so it's fine. So let's go ahead and just make some basic connections here to some different areas on the map. So transport tab, let's get the airplane, And let's bump this back up. And I'm back to losing money again. I was in the positive, so I'm going to pause this one more time. Now, the train is going out this way. The line, we're going to picture Seabury being off over there. So this one is actually going to be to Seabury. And we're going to name that SLI to... Oh, no, I don't have area codes or airport codes. So we're just going to call that SLI to Seabury. And that'll be fine. St. Lawrence. If you guys have ideas for some of these airport codes, that'd be great. I don't want this to only be $8, but drop in the comments. What do you guys think these prices should actually be for airports? What makes sense? Because these don't make any sense. I'm gonna just do all these as white, and we'll see how they look as they come in. So there's our first line right there, and that's gonna be our regional jet. That's fine because it's very close. Let's drop in another one here, and this one is gonna go out. Let's see where, here we go. I want to draw some inspiration from some channels that I follow very closely. This airline right here is going to be St. Lawrence Island to Suncrest County. For Cons Builds. Love your stuff. Welcome to St. Lawrence Island, and that's also going to be white as well. Now the next one here, this is going to go out here to Hardesty and back, and of course that is not going to be named Hardesty. We're going to make that white as well. This is actually going to go up to the northeast, and this is going to be St. Lawrence Island to East Haven County. He's got an airport out there, right? I don't think he does. I don't think infrastructure has actually ever built an airport in East Haven County, but we're going to pretend it's way out in the suburbs. I do know Consbuilds is working on getting an airport for Suncrest County here soon. So we'll just say he already does. So the next one here, this one is going to go way out there and back. And this one is going to be St. Lawrence Island. And this is what's going to make this an international airport to Ethelberg. Thanks to Skills Builds there. Sure, we're still going to drop this to 1. Still make this a white airline. And this is going to, yeah, airliner. Good job. And finally, this last one that we are going to do is going to be another international way out in there. Did we already do Frankfurt Square? Let's look. Yes, we did. Out here. This one is going to be another one of the same creator, but this creator is the one that got me actually into doing City Skylines 2. And this is going to be St. Lawrence Island to Seabury. And this is going to be another international flight. So let's see who actually brings in some people to to St. Lawrence Island, because hopefully they all do. That would be fantastic if they did. I think this will take a little bit of time to actually get people out here, so we'll have to definitely see what ends up happening. But let's look at the ferry lines here. Ferry's looking pretty good out here. We've got a couple coming through. And of course, these are empty, and empty. Cool. So hopefully over time that does get a little bit better. Nobody's quite out here yet, and nobody has a reason to come out here yet. So now, before we can truly wrap this episode up, we need to work on the highway project here. And I'm running very low on funds. We are still hemorrhaging money at this point, spending way too much money and not getting enough money in. I'm thinking I'm gonna just increase taxes just a little bit here. This is for temporary measures, really, hopefully just so that we can get some cash flow into here and make a little bit of money. And we might just decrease some of our budget on some other things as well. So We're gonna just do some basic work here as much as possible, but ultimately we're gonna have to probably come back in here later on and adjust these as well. So we should be making some good money. So let's go ahead and yeah, here we go. Now we're gonna make some money. I'm gonna work on this highway project. So the whole goal is to run this highway instead of course, up here where it was. This is all going to become localized roads, and most already have. Oh, look at our subway going through. 8 passengers, cool. Instead, it's going to run this way along the back half, and I might take it over this little mountain over here, over the farmlands, and then cut across over here. Leave this as a local road, and then probably until we cut about to here, I'll probably drop it back down underneath here. Take the highway back up, leave this as a highway, but maybe extend it just a little bit to run through the vineyard. And then, like I said, drop it off into here. So we're going to start on this side and then kind of work our way into the middle. that's going to wrap this episode up of St. Lawrence Island. I'm absolutely infatuated with everything that was built here. And this is just a cool little transportation hub that is going to see a lot of use, hopefully in the very near future. Between the airport, the ferries, the subway, the train, even the express shuttle from the airport down to the ferry dock, this island is going to end up being an incredible asset for the rest of St. Lawrence Island. Coming up, we are going to start working on some cool other projects, including building out the main portion of the island way down here, where we're going to be hopefully packing in a crowd and really bring people to this island. We've got some cool projects that I'm working on as well, so that will be very cool here in the very near future. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss out on this next very cool build. And of course, join me on YouTube memberships or on Patreon, where you will get bonus content, extended episodes, and some very, very exclusive episodes that I'm working on establishing here very soon. So do not miss out on that, but be sure to subscribe, at least like this video, and leave a comment just for the sake of engagement. But also tell me, do I need to establish any more air connections to any more cities around City Skylines too? Is there a city that you particularly watch that you're like, hey, let's get an airline out to them? I think they could really use it and really connect the cities. Let me know. I'll be happy to add some more airlines into our airport. But hey, until the next one, everyone, have a good one. Catch you on the other side. Goodbye.